Hello, and thanks for joining us on the Midday News. Let's begin here in Lagos, where the federal government has applied to withdraw the alleged possession of firearms charged against the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. At today's proceeding, the Director of Public Prosecutions at the Federal Ministry of Justice, Mohammed Abubakar, told the judge that its decision to withdraw the charge is informed by emerging facts and circumstances of the case, which requires closer investigation. In his response, the lead defense counsel, Joseph Daudu, said such an application cannot be made orally, but in a formal application which must establish the need for public interest, the interest of justice, and the need to prevent abuse of legal process. Justice Owoibo had on 25th of July admitted Mr. Emefiele to a 20 million naira bail on a 2-count charge of alleged legal possession of firearms and ammunition, and ordered his remand at the Ikoyi Correctional Center pending the fulfillment of his bail conditions. Let's talk this through by speaking with our correspondent, TVC News Correspondent Kemi Fola-Adeyemo, who is joining me from the court. Kemi, thank you so much for joining us. What more do we know about these latest developments as regards former CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele?
Ibrahim, it was another day here in court, and both sides well represented. This time around, the Director of the Public Prosecutions of the Federal Ministry of Justice was in court to argue the case for the federal government. Well, as you rightly said, the federal government has decided to withdraw the charges of alleged illegal gun possession filed against Mr. Emefiele, but the defense now articulated its point that first, such an application cannot be made orally, and most importantly, the federal government, that's the prosecutor, is still in flagrant disobedience of its order of the court, which was granted on July the 25th, granting Mr. Emefiele bail and for his discharge from the custody of the DSS to the custody of a correctional facility pending the fulfillment of his bail conditions. So that were primarily the main points of the defense. But interestingly, the federal government has now said that first of all, he attended to journalists after the court's hearing. He didn't bring this latest development to the hearing of the court, but outside when the prosecution was addressing questions by journalists. And now the federal government says that it will also file a 20 counts charge against Mr. Emefiele, this time around in Abuja, an FCT High Court. This new charges, the federal government says, dwell primarily on alleged illegal procurement, which the Independent and Corrupt Practices Act frown against. What we asked the defense its position on this pending fresh charges to be brought against Mr. Emefiele, the defense, through Mr. Joseph Daudu, a senior advocate of Nigeria, said they hadn't gotten any written notice of this pending charges. But of course, it said that at any point the federal government wishes to take its case against Mr. Emefiele, it will bring up the issue of its persistent disobedience of a court order regarding Mr. Emefiele's freedom, albeit temporarily. So this was what happened in court, and the court also noted its surprise to this latest development of the federal government seeking to withdraw its charges. The court said it will have to wait till Thursday to give a ruling on the federal government's application. So yes, the government has applied, but it is now left to the courts to determine whether it can apply to withdraw the charges orally or whether it should be in writing. Ibrahim.
All right, TVC News Correspondent Kemi Fola-Adeyemo, thank you so much for that insight into what's transpired in court today as regards Godwin Emefiele.